Hello again, class. Me and Dranusha have prepared this short video on skills gap in Kosovo, and we hope you enjoy it. Where is Kosovo? Well, this is the most common reply we get when we tell people where we are from. Otherwise, a portrait of a war-torn country appears once they hear the name of Kosovo. But Kosovo, in fact, has much more to be remembered about. Kosovo is among the smallest and youngest countries in Europe, which has recently attained independence from Serbia. By the way, since this video is created for an international economics class, maybe it's worth mentioning that Kosovo recently put a 100% tax on Serbian imports. The reason is that they still claim Kosovo as their part and create different problems for Kosovo as a state. Whether this was a smart move or not is yet to be seen in the future. If you happen to visit Kosovo, you will find yourself in a place with long summer nights, extremely safe streets, unbelievably hospitable people, beautiful mountains, and big bottles of beer for just €1. With a median age of 29, or more precisely, with more than 42% of the population being under 24, Kosovo is ranked as having one of the youngest population in Europe. Again, if these things seem hard to remember for the next time you hear it about Kosovo, it's enough to remember that Rita Ora, Dua Lipa, Era Strefe, and My Linda Kelmendi all come from this beautiful small country. Now, flipping the other side of the coin. Unfortunately, even now after 11 years of declared independence, Kosovo still struggles with corruption, unemployment, lack of good quality education, and pollution. Despite constant attempts to enhance youth employment, Kosovo is failing to do so, and according to many, skill mismatch is to be blamed. But what is skill mismatch? Before going into real definitions, let's think of it this way. This is Ben. He has studied economics. Upon graduation, however, he remained unemployed, not because he's bad at what he does, but because there is not a high demand for his skills. If Ben would have analyzed the job market prior, he probably would have realized that there may be a shortage of plumbers, for example, skills of whom are highly demanded in the market. To put things into perspective, a skills gap is defined as a gap between what employers want or need their employees to be able to do and what those employees can actually do. Years of parents and teachers telling children to follow their dreams, as they can be anything they want to be, has helped to create a generation of young people who have made impractical career choices. It's the nature of parents, of course, to want the best for their children. However, it is likely that many students that aim to be future doctors or lawyers in Kosovo, when asked why they aspire to become such ones, will say, "My mom made me do it." If growth of educated supply outstrips demand, this may be reflected in a surplus of skilled workers in terms of unemployment, but also in workers who are overeducated for the jobs they perform. While detailing the impact of the current skills gap is a less demanding task, identifying the root of the problem and developing policy alternatives for addressing the issue is more complex. The education system in Kosovo has been constantly criticized by various groups of the society. Furthermore, a lack of a career guidance and concealing system is also contributing to the problem and compels job seekers to base their career choices based on the advices provided by friends or parents. What is even more concerning is the fact that the private sector reports a lack of skills relevant for the labor market, even for the occupations which are oversupplied. For example, the number of graduates in social sciences is much greater than the absorption capacity in the private sector. The skill mismatch can harm both employers and job seekers. On the employer side, this skills gap affects the overall productivity of firms and decreases their competitiveness in a regional and broader context. The lack of skilled labor entails additional costs for businesses in the form of trainings that employees need to undergo before gaining the necessary competencies for carrying out their responsibilities. This implies that other things held equal, employees will require a longer time before they become competent in carrying out their responsibilities in firms. From the perspective of employees in general, and job seekers in particular, this issue may seem even more paradoxical. Results from labor force survey from the first quarter of 2017 revealed that the unemployment rate among those that have finished vocational education and gymnasiums is about 35% and 31% respectively. Furthermore, the unemployment rate among those with tertiary education is 21.2%. Well, considering these figures, of course that young job seekers will be disappointed and aggravated by the fact that they are or will be unable to find a job despite their formal education. In the long run, a number of the unemployed will cease their efforts for finding a job due to their discouragement and consequently exit the labor force altogether, resulting in a very low labor force participation rate, more particularly 41.7% in the first quarter of 2017. If employers are unable to recruit a person with the combination of skills they seek, they are often willing to forego recruitment and rely upon developing workarounds to make up for not having the full complement of skills. These workarounds include requesting existing employees to take on more work, using employment agencies to fill vacancies, using social networks to find potential recruits, using ex-employees to fulfill tasks, outsourcing work to other companies. The current linkages between education, vocational training, and labor market needs are very weak, contributing to high unemployment rate which delays the economic development of the country. Overall, we are all up for following dreams, right? But also analyzing the market a bit wouldn't hurt. Okay, now let's continue the class presentation and thank you for watching us.